Noah had dark hair and a disarming smile. The girls in town whispered about him, drawn to his charm. He always sat at table 7 in the cafe, ordering black coffee and leaving generous tips. "You make the best coffee in town," he'd say, making me blush. My father and brother warned me about him. "Noah plays with hearts. Don't be his next mistake," Daniel cautioned. But Noah was different with me. He remembered the little things, asked about my dreams, and made me feel seen. One evening, he asked for my number. My hands trembled as I wrote it on a napkin. That night, we talked for hours. He spoke of his travels, painting pictures of a world beyond our small town. The following weekend, he invited me to a music festival in a nearby city. I lied to my parents, saying I was with my friend Olivia. Guilt gnawed at me, but excitement won. The festival was mesmerizing. Music, laughter, lights flashing against the night sky. Noah held my hand. "You're beautiful," he whispered. I had never felt so special. Afterward, he suggested staying at his cousin's cabin. "Too late to drive back," he reasoned. I hesitated, but agreed. The cabin was warm, the fire flickering. He kissed me, his touch growing urgent. When I pulled away, he scoffed. "Why come here if you didn't want this?" "I wanted to spend time with you, to talk, to watch the sunrise." He laughed coldly. "People don't come to cabins for sunrises." Frustrated, he grabbed his keys. "Find your own way home." "Noah, please." But he was gone. Alone, fear gripped me. My phone had no signal. The night was cold, shadows shifting in the trees. I walked for hours until I reached the main road, finally making it home at sunrise. Olivia let me in, silent but understanding. The next day, Noah came to the cafe, acting like nothing had happened. I spilled his coffee on purpose. "Oops, clumsy me," he sneered. "Watch it, stupid girl." Mrs. Bennet, my boss, overheard. "Don't talk to my staff that way. Get out." Noah scoffed. "Your coffee's awful anyway." He stormed out. "Are you okay?" Mrs. Bennet asked. "No," I admitted, "but I will be." That night, I told my parents the truth. They were upset, but not at me. "That boy ought to be ashamed," my mother said. 2 weeks later, I applied to a university in the city. Mrs. Bennet helped. "You're smart. The world needs women like you." I got in with a scholarship. The city was overwhelming. Towering buildings, endless crowds. My roommate, Zoe, had purple hair and a contagious laugh. "The city is tough," she said, "but it gives you freedom." I studied literature, worked at a bookstore, and built a new life. One rainy evening, a man with a green umbrella stopped beside me. "Need some cover?" he asked, his eyes warm. His name was Adam. We met for coffee, took the same subway, and shared stories. He was patient, kind. The first time he held my hand, he asked if it was okay. When he kissed me, it was gentle and sure. Then, one day, he disappeared. I worried until I found out his father had fallen ill. When he returned, he looked exhausted. "I had to go home suddenly. I'm sorry." Relief flooded me. "Is he okay?" "Getting better, but I'll need to visit often." I hugged him. "I was worried. I missed you." "I missed you too. And while I was gone, I realized something important. I love you." Those words had once terrified me. But Adam was not Noah. His love was steady, built on kindness and trust. "I love you too," I said. Years passed. I became a teacher. Adam opened a music studio. We moved in together, filling our home with books and melodies. 2 years later, he proposed at a concert in the park. "Lena," he said, "you bring words to my music. Will you marry me?" Through happy tears, I said yes. Now, at 31, Adam and I have been married for 5 years. We own a cozy house near my school with a piano in the living room and bookshelves lining the walls. Last month, I found out I was pregnant. When I told Adam, he sat at the piano and played a new melody. "I wrote this for our baby," he said. "He or she will grow up with music and stories." And as I listened to the song of our future, I knew I had finally found my true home